communication. Of course, we have the same goal to empower the community.
Architect Jocelyn A. Rivera Lutap for the introduction of the talk on Grammo Project Community Base.
Thank you very much, Maki. It's a privilege to introduce to you our speaker for the day. He graduated his Bachelor in Architecture in Bangladesh University and Engineering and Technology in Dhaka, Bangladesh. He's now working on his master's also in Bangladesh University. He is a former lecturer of the State University of Bangladesh, and he is now a senior lecturer of the Daffodil International University, also in Bangladesh. He has written several publications, one of which is the Integrating Pedestrian Circulation with Proposed Rapid Transit Route Design Protocol of a Skywalk for Smart Dhaka. The impact of atrium proportion on the distribution of daylight and on the adjacent space in shopping mall in Dhaka City. And he has attended a lot of conferences and spoke in a lot of them. I would just want to highlight some of his work experience. Otherwise, it would go on forever. I would take so much. It might take longer than his talk. He is a coordinator of the Smart City Mobility and Infrastructure, actively working since 2017 for contextual background for Smart Dhaka, a research group involving university students and think tank generating proposal and disseminating knowledge and advocating with the government articles published in the National Daily on Skywalk, a smart solution for pedestrian in Dhaka. He recently went to Germany for another training on smart city. He has won several awards, design competition awards, but I'd like to focus on his initiative in Grammo. I've heard him talk about this in University of Chandigarh last year, where we were both lecturer in the faculty development program of the University of Chandigarh. He's a founder of the Grammo. It's a residential program at the village for a better future, multidisciplinary, participatory research mode for sustainable tomorrow. It's conducted 2 to 3 day residential workshop in Manikajan and Muhishajan, where he brings his student regularly. I know this would really inspire you because it has inspired me a lot. Let me give the floor to a good friend, Architect Sheikh Md. Rezwan. Take it away, Sheikh.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jocelyn. My screen is visible. Is it okay?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. So it's actually a pleasure for me to talk in front of all of you and the students and the first speaker, Mark. So thank you again for giving me the privilege to talk to you. I'm really inspired that this initiative, Grammo Residential Workshop or Research Program, has inspired you. And yes, it's kind of a event that I personally feel also proud, because it has a lot of things for the academia for how to teach architecture pedagogy, or how to conduct design studios, or beyond the academic part, also whether we, the architect, can actually work with the people who need our support most. So it's kind of a residential research workshop. I may call it a participatory approach to work with people. So I'm getting with my contents. So I will go very formally about some of my very basic information that all this blah 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 you will get it from my CV or internet. But yes, if you want to contact me in WhatsApp, this is my number and this is the email, so you can take it from here. And about the publications and conferences, basically I may because I started my teaching career in 2012. So like many young academic person, I was a little bit not much focused about in which area I will give the focus. So it takes some time, but gradually my basic focus area is actually on the urban design issues and the community space design, whether it be the urban area, city, or in the village. So as already Jocelyn gave a nice introduction about my working experience, so I'll not get much into it, but for last more than 3 years, I am actively working with FNF, Frederick Naumann Foundation. It's a German NGO who actually work in several aspects of their mandate. And one of the topic is a smart city. So I was actively involved in with them. And through that, we try to do many works, which I may share in another time if needed. But today I will focus mainly on the Grammo workshop, which is actually a 3-day residential program at village. And why I will share some of this my seminar or conference information, because I don't think the Grammo happened all of a sudden. It was gradually making me prepared to go for a workshop program or to go for a different kind of module in academia. So these workshop seminar I attended had a huge impact on me. So in 2012, in February, just before the pandemic situation started, I attended a smart city seminar. It's centering human rights in a smart city design. And all of these seminars actually made me more confident about what to do. And yes, it's a good moment with Jocelyn in 2019 in Chandigarh University. We jointly attended a program. And in 2018, again in a smart city and urban mobility seminar at Germany. Before 2019, I attended 2017 Chitkara University Global Week in Chandigarh. Before that, in 2017, I attended a exchange program with Karabük University, Turkey, where I presented not my original work, but my explanation about what is going on in my country based on water and architecture and a historic background in modern design. So this project you may already know, it tells a lot about me, where I am from, because it's the national capital or the parliament building designed by Louis Khan in Dhaka. So I am now in Dhaka, and from my rooftop, the building I reside, from my rooftop, I can see the top of this building. So it's and that building, and these two buildings awarded Aga Khan Award 2 years back. It's a mosque and institution. Okay, so beside academic part, I also have a consultancy firm where we 5 of my friends, we are partner, and this is the group I work with. It's InDesign Limited, and in 2014, it was long before, long ago, because I own I was in a team member where we jointly worked in a competition, and the green office building of a government organization, it owned first prize. So we jointly worked that, but it's a sad story. It may not going to be built because of many issues. Yes, these are some of example of my work. It's a residential project, it's a mosque, it's a college or the institution at a remote village. Besides doing the academic work, what we believe as a company, one of my partner, architect Faisal Huda, he is actually very much interested about the heritage building. So we jointly try to promote the adaptivity of this heritage building. We do graphic works voluntarily, and it's all Faisal's initiative. He's mainly focused on the historic building aspect. So I thank you, Faisal, for that, because a consultancy firm can have many aspects other than only designing for something. It also works for a community awareness creation part too. Okay, so what is actually the Grammo? Grammo is in Philippine, I don't know what do you call the village. It's actually the of the village. The Grammo in Bengali, it means of the village in English. So why this initiative I started? There is a background actually. So this is the background. In 2018 national election campaign, there was a political statement that the villages will become the city. So it's kind of political motive or the political vision that they want to develop the village. But the term was very harsh, as a village will become the city. Is actually make us all worried who works with the built environment, the planner, the engineer, the architect. So I was also worried about the future of the village, because if they do wrong things in the village, the whole country will suffer, as still more than 50% of the people live in the village in Bangladesh. And also our production, the agricultural production is, um, we are self-sufficient in food from for many years because of this village. So the bad planning or any unconcerned decision may really uh, make us a generation who will actually be worried what we have done. So I was thinking what to do in this kind of situation. I felt the responsibility of doing something, and I'm in academia, in institution. I have students who are my future leaders, and they of what I am doing for them actually. So to do something, at first it's a very uh, important thing that I didn't grow up in a village, and I don't know much about village, because I used to go village for 2 3 day for a vacation tour. I went to the village, and there was much arrangement for us, because we will come, may it be my friend's house or my relatives. So they prepared all the things. We went there, stayed, played, ate, and had a very good memory. But whether this is the real thing about the village, because we know the farmers are struggling their everyday life, and the village economy is not that good, and we know that, but we didn't experience that. So that was a very important thing. If I want to do something, at first it has to be very clear to me personally, and then to my students, what the village is about. Because many of my students live in a village, but they live in their home. They don't see the holistic situation, maybe if not very pointed out, that okay, see, this is happening, but you didn't notice. So it's kind of a thing that what can I do? And introducing community architecture initiative in academia as a sustainable practice, it was my vision, because in 5-year curriculum, um, most of the university of my country don't have rural planning as a course, or rural project as a very fixed practice in the academia. It's some practice, don't practice it. It's up to you whether you want to do it. But as I told, more than 50% still live in the village. So also I didn't find much local book on village development written by architect. It was mostly written by planner, development consultant, NGOs. That was also a thing for me, that if I can do something honestly, if I can do something rigorously, then maybe the gap may be filled out. And also when I will try to go in the village, it has to be very clear what is my intention, what do I want to do. Because from architecture background, if I only focus on the home estate, their house, I will get a partial view. So to place the architecture of village within a broad spectrum of socio-cultural event, a house is a very functional, is a very need-based structure, uh, and it's something different from the urban context, because in urban context a person's profession and his living is not that much connected like the village. So if the building is going to be very important, yes, but I need much of the other data. um, and so I also thought out that I am an architect, so I cannot do things alone. If I want to see the whole perspective of a village, I cannot just believe on myself, because I don't know about agriculture, I don't know about the water management or how the fluid river works. In each village there is some kind of canal or river, so I need some collaboration. So Grammo is actually from the day one, as I thought out, it has to be a collaborative research approach. I have to involve a lot of other people with me. So let it be a crowd who will do something. That's actually again a strength for me. I'm not thinking personally that, okay, I'm not doing this my alone. Okay. So this is so far. This may be new for Jocelyn also, because he knew that I did one workshop only in 2019. Yes, and after coming back from Chandigarh in 2019, I went for another workshop, and in this pandemic situation, I went for third workshop with very limited students who had something to do, who actually needed to go there. I will uh, share the detail. Okay, so Grammo 1, it's actually the posters. As you see, it's actually a poster, and we are focusing many points as it is written in Bengali. Most of you would not understand, and this is actually a very important thing to work with the community. You need to talk with the local language. It can be English, but I didn't want to. My students didn't want to. So it's the Bengali font used and the Bengali language to make it very communicable. And the if you see, there is a line. It says each village is different. If you want to know the village, you have to see the village. You have to stay in the village. So this was very important statement from my side. It's not like one day survey. Okay, go there, go to the village and bring this data to me. And you all went to the village, stayed one day. Okay, this is information I need to know. So there is a lack. There is a lack of inviting different perspective, different opinion within you, within your data. So the first workshop, it was actually conducted in Manikganj, and the village name is Kautia. And as I told you before, that in the fifth year curriculum, there is no specific course for rural development, but there is a course in which I regularly conduct in fourth year. It's a design course. It's called Community Space Design. So under the community space design, I went through the curriculum and I have seen some scope where I can perform this activity. So Grammo is an academic activity. At first, it was very strict academic activity. Now maybe I will try something more for the sustainability of this program, but it's basically an academic program offered at fourth year students. So at first it was 18 number of students, and I had Sadal Islam, another colleague teacher with me. He actually assisted, and I acknowledge Delwar Jahan. He has the agricultural center in that village. We stayed in their accommodation, and we surveyed 12 number of homestead. Like that, the second workshop happened in another village. It's in Munshiganj, and at that time, the first workshop was such a success because of its diversification, because of its like. As Mark told, the compassion towards the village, how to see it. Um, uh, Students from another university joined with us. It's a very good thing. And also with several other person I want to mention, my friend Faisal Huda, who actually has his own initiative for the rural development or women empowerment in a village. It's called Revival. He has this initiative, so he also arranged the accommodation for us. So I thank him too. And there were several other person involved with this. I will go in that. So the third workshop again happened in Munshiganj. So you may think since it's a residential workshop, where do we live? So this is actually the interesting part of also, because we live in this kind of house, which is not a very resort-like, which is not a very hotel-like. It's actually their homestead, their house. We try to bring that collaboration with the community that we will live within their house. So this collaboration, I thank Faisal Huda, because the second workshop, it happened in someone's house who live in Japan. My friend Faisal lives in Japan too now. So he was very interested seeing our first workshop. Like, okay, they are trying to do something good, so I will give my home to them for a stay purpose. So this is a very good thing. So we stay in this kind of house. And the third workshop, this is actually the, it's called now the Revival House. As you may remember, a few seconds ago, I told this, that Revival is my friend's initiative, and he personally managed funding to do something for the women in that village. And he himself managed the fund and make this house. And now jointly Revival and Grammo work, and we use this as our base. Like, it's a kind of a fixed space where we can go anytime and go there, talk with and work. So this is interesting, that collaboration, the power of collaboration, same-minded people, same-like people, they are actually thinking something and they are jointly working. So since this is the pandemic situation, all of them are wearing masks. So also the first workshop, you can see the agricultural center here. It's bamboo made house. The floor, the walls are made with bamboo. And also the Delwar Jahan, he is actually the owner of this center, and he works with organic farming. So he didn't allow any outside food. So this is another perspective of seeing village or seeing the new initiative, entrepreneurship. And it is his area where students are collecting vegetables that the person will cook and we will eat. So this is kind of a whole new experience for the students and for me too. So are we okay? Because it's okay. Like, can you hear me well?
Yes, please, Sheikh.
Okay.
We can hear you, and we're very interested in what you're presenting.
Okay. So thank you, Jocelyn. Since we cannot see each other much and it's completely online, sometimes I will go for it. And since there are a lot of students, I may ask something. Don't mind. So this is the process. The process we follow, like for the teacher and for also the students. When I want to do something, it's not like it should not be like you are only deciding what to do. You are only deciding where to go. You are only deciding in which place you will reside or in which village you will go, because the collaboration starts from this very, very basic idea, like what to do. So it's a collaborative mindset is needed. So at first it was like always the Grammo, which Grammo workshop follows, that the need or the interest should grow from the village. Should grow from the village means someone from the village, as I mentioned, the person living in Japan, he want to do something for his village, but he again wanted to have a very like not scientific, but more study about his own village through the eyes of a professional. That what should I do? Let them here help me. So in that kind of interest, we wanted to do workshop, second workshop in that place. But about the first workshop, the Delwar Jahan, the entrepreneur, the agriculture enthusiast, he actually presented in a seminar at the Institute of Architects that the villages are getting damaged by construction, which is by construction means that the construction which actually go with that village, the construction which actually creates damage for the environment. So he actually was interested to see what professional can offer. So that interest was from him. So we first went to his village. That's why. And also, you need access to the house for survey. This is also important. Why you need the collaboration, because you are completely new to the village. So how can you expect the villagers living in there will give you free access to their home, to their inner space to survey? So you need that access. So access means whether you can do it with the help of this collaboration, who already reside in there, who already want to do something, who already know better than you about that place, will help you. Okay, I am doing this for you maybe. So that is also important, access to the house for survey, because some senior brother who is now living in Singapore was asking whether you went through ethical board process. Ethical board, I didn't know anything about it because we managed informally about this survey or the consent purpose. The villagers were cooperative, but in Singapore you cannot do that. You have to go through ethical board, who will ensure the villagers agreed and they were not forced to do this, that kind of thing. So this was not the case. We managed through local people that okay, we will come, we will go, we will survey. And what we had to do, permission from the local leaders, because each village is some under local government personnel who is in charge of the village, and you cannot just go there and start survey without his permission, because you may need some kind of support from them regarding the security if needed, but yes, you need permission. So we approach to the chairman or the vice chairman of that village that we are coming, this person are coming, we intend to do this thing, we don't have any political vision. So this is also important, because most of the village people is somehow afraid of the NGO, or they are trying to do something, what's their intention. So it has to be very clear that it's for the academic reason. So that's how the village, after that I got interest from the village, but I didn't have access for the household survey, I didn't get permission, so I cannot go there. So this has to be met at first. Then during that comes the academic part. Okay, the faculty meeting, within the faculty meeting you have to also approve, because you are taking a good number of students for 3-day residential workshop in a village. So okay, you need permission. So after that, the project will be discussed, but there is no project yet. There is no project means we have just selected the village, but what needs to be done, it will come out from the workshop. You cannot say that the village house needs to be redeveloped. I know. So you need to, so I don't know, I cannot know that. Maybe they need more important solution from you or from us than the house renovation or house development. So and this is kind of where we go the 3-day residential workshop. You can read it. I will show some image, through some image. So okay, I'm just going very briefly that the survey will cover wide range of information. Wide range of information means, since the village is the important hub for production, food production, so agriculture needs to become out, water management should become out, the economic status or the socio-cultural aspect needs to be documented. This will come up. So it's a wide range of information. So experts from agriculture, local chairman participates. Dawn to noon data collection, afternoon games, evening poster making. I will go through that, because since a research workshop, it's not fun trip again, because those who participate, they know it from the very beginning. It's not something we are going to village to see only. We're going to village for learning. So what you see at the daytime, you need to document it at the evening. May look very strict format, but it's important. Why it is important, I will come to that. That comes a part of the academic reason it's important. So this is the activity. Then project is selected based on the workshop, need-based project rather than prior selection. 2-3 faculties involved in discussion session at evening. The discussion is shared to many faculties because I have my personal viewpoint, another will have another viewpoint. So this workshop follows the learning module of discussion. You can give lecture, some can hear, but it has to be a discussion format. So it's important, and other universities can participate, as I mentioned, and accommodation is sponsored or arranged in a local house. The second workshop was sponsored, the accommodation was sponsored by the person, and the first workshop we had to arrange, means we had to put some money, and interestingly the money is given by the students. The university is still not involved in these. That's another discussion, I don't want to go in there, but students are very okay. Students are very okay means since the second workshop other universities want to participate, it has some kind of a demand. So they pay a fee, very nominal fee, I must say. At the first workshop I may have to give in money from my pocket also, but that the second workshop, since the accommodation was sponsored, and it came out a good system. So the third, maybe the fourth workshop, which will be in again maybe the post-pandemic situation, it will go in another level, I hope, because I see there are many persons want to get involved, want to help us financially also. Okay, so based on that workshop, the report is formulated. The report is also a very important project part, and it contains much weightage. The report, considerable weightage in the report, because the report is actually the most important thing of this process, not the product. So the report contains a very good input. So based on that studio teacher input, the design and project submission is done. Within that time, we invite experts from another field, or some people who won competition on rural development. They come, they share. So based on that, the project is submitted and we arrange exhibition. But the exhibition is not only in the university, the exhibition at the village too, because the project we want to do with the involvement of the community need to be shared to them also, to see their feedback, whether we have done very wrong. We may do wrong because our prior background is not the village, so we may do wrong. We may make some beautiful house design which they cannot afford. So there are many layers of these things. So this is a practice. This is a practice that we have to share the output towards the village and look for possible implementation partner, that who will implement that, because the project revival house is now is there because we conducted that workshop in there, because we had a lot of people involved in there. So my friend also got energized, so he asked for funding from by himself and some other person, and he made a home. So implementation partner and for and design the next Grammo based on this learning. So this is on a whole the exhibition. So I will go through the image. This image is very powerful to me, so I would request you to watch these images for some time. Like, this is the survey. It's not like very strict thing, it's a very informal thing. Yes, they are containing, yes, some papers, some tables, writing something, drawing something. The discussion in the household survey happening in the semi-open space of the house or under the mango tree in the courtyard. This is Dalwar Jahan. I personally thank him because the first workshop happened in his village. In the second workshop, I just made a call that can you come over Munshiganj because you have much knowledge on agriculture. I don't have anything. So he just came without any prior notice or something, because he wanted to disseminate his knowledge through this workshop program also. So it's the him talking in the village, in the courtyard, in the house, on the bed. So this is a very informal nature, and this informality I like it very much, because this workshop in the village should not be that strict or formatted form. Yes, it is very well thought out by me because I know what is going on, but the look has to be like I am trying to make students more engaged because you will not see me in here, because if I'm in here, I'm their teacher, they may not ask some questions. So yes, they are discussing by themselves. And the household survey is very important. As I was telling you, they go inside of the house, talk to the women, because Bangladesh is a majority Muslim country. The access to the house is not that very open, but yes, they will allow. But there are some norms, there are some behavior patterns that you can so when you are going there and interacting with lots of people, you again get how these people are. This is also very important, which one day survey or a survey will not give you that information. When you are going in there, talking with them, sitting in their bed, uh, you see the location of the television is very much higher. You see the window opening towards the kitchen, and they have this curtain, they have this beautiful wooden furniture. All of these suddenly will make you understand the area, the economy, the thinking, the belief. So that's how. And I am very much absent during this process always. I make some groups and talk to ask them, okay, what you are planning before the day. At the evening, I play what you are going to do tomorrow. So they tell, okay, sir, we're thinking to do this. Then we have a discussion whether we can make it little bit better, or we can remove some of the load, because that they are thinking about doing is much to do, but I want to do smaller things within much detail. So this is important. This discussion happens. So I am very much absent in the whole process. I just guide. I just facilitate. I'm not instructor, facilitator. So and also as you see, this is the air velocity meter. This is humidity calculator. So this is kind of we have an environmental lab. Based on that, we are also trying to go for some sustainable issues regarding this village house. These are for that. These are, and again, interesting things. This is the vice chairman of the village. They are giving a speech about what is coming next in their village, the government's planning about the village in next 5 years or 4 years. So she is giving this lecture under a banyan tree. So, and these are the mat produced locally, and um, but in Munshiganj, this is a chairman's personal meeting room. So if you want to compare these two things, you will understand actually that this village needs much development, or development not in a sense that they are not developed. I don't want to say that, but they are not getting much fund. That's what I'm going to say. So also we talk very crucially to these people, because they are the government side. So we want a good relation. At the same time, we want to advocate them in a sense that this meeting held after 2 days of the workshop. Since when we know about the village, then we can go and discuss with them. Otherwise, they will tell, we are planning this, and we will say, yeah. So this is not a discussion even. So after 2 days, when we have more or less a uh, good knowledge about the context, then we go. Then we say, but don't you think this has to be prioritized more, or what do you think, why you are not prioritizing this? So this kind of again a important discussion. So I plan these things, like when to go, what to ask, maybe this kind of thing in a participatory way. And yes, I'm not sitting just beside him as a lead person. I'm the teacher, so I'm sitting with the students, all of the students always. So this is interesting thing. So when this survey happens during the day, and this is interesting for the academic person or for the students also, because this is called Dale Edgar cone of learning. It tells, if you it's actually about the how much you can remember after you see or hear a thing. So if you read something, you will remember only 10% of what you read after 1 hour, 2 hours. You will only remember 10% if you read something. if you hear something, then you have to put much attention what he is telling. So the concentration is much greater, because the eye takes much of the other what should I say, other instincts go down. So 20% you will remember after you hear. So based on this, you see, if you participate in a discussion or you are giving a talk, what I am giving to you, so um, I will remember 70% of what I say, but I will forget 30% after 1 hour. And if you are doing a dramatic presentation or simulating real experience, going to that place, touching that thing, doing the real thing, then you will um, remember 90%. So this is actually where my workshop is focused. It's a discussion oriented and doing the real thing oriented part. That's why during the daytime activity, the afternoon is free for game and having fun. But at the evening, I tell them, okay, now just summarize what you have collected the day, because you are asking so many persons, so many things, you will definitely forget. And in many times, you cannot record or video document everything. So you will forget most of the things if you don't record or document the thing at the evening. So though it's much pressure, but the students are they get motivated. And also I ask them, maybe what you asked to that person, he replied a wrong thing to you. So um, since there are 4 or 5 groups working on different things, but when they discuss as a whole, then some data or some information that they have collected immediately get out, like, okay, this cannot be done based on the discussion, because this person maybe he didn't understand my question, that's why he replied in that way. So this is very important, that everything is written and documented in a kind of a poster format, because it's easy to share after the workshop event to the university, that I went to the village for academic work, not for fun. So this also helps me that, okay, this can be readily showed or um, exhibited to them. So this is kind of the format, and again, you see, this is not a very structured theme. Some paper, and I also try to carry, because I believe that we need to reuse paper. So these are the backside of the printed paper, or the jury presentation paper. I take that. But for graph paper, yes, I need sometimes graph paper, because if I want to document something very precisely, that helps. So these are also a important part. Okay, the second workshop had a really different thing. Means the second workshop, the houses we saw, you may remember the second workshop image of the house and the third workshop image of the house, because both of them in Munshiganj. And this house is a typical traditional Munshiganj house, which is actually sold in market. There are 4 house markets in the whole area. They sell house. If you order a house, they will prefabricate it in their marketplace and will deliver you after 2 weeks. And to assemble whole thing, it will take another 3 or 4 days only to assemble all the things. So this is like more like a furniture. So this is quite an interesting thing, which is also exhibited in one of the exhibition in Sharjah maybe, if I'm not wrong, by Aga Khan Award winning architect Marina Tabassum, because of its unique character. This house is, you can carry it, you can make it higher if needed. So this is a prefabricated house. And also since this house is sourced through market, if we want to develop something, maybe it's better to target the marketplace. So understanding the market is also important, became very important, which is unlike the Manikganj case. So in this way, each village, what I was telling, each village is different. So we went to the market, we discussed, this is the pandemic time image, because that's why we are wearing masks. Only 5 people we went there. So this time we talked to the people who owns the house market, who has a business of wood, and at the back side of his wooden shop, this is the place where they are making 5 or 6 houses at a time and delivering it. This is a very profitable business for them still. So this is also clicked as a very important thing. Okay, this is uh, uh, a very vibrant business still. So this needs to be also surveyed thoroughly. And after the students came out at the studio, they started to make this house model. So what I like, or what I want to say, those who you want to work, or if even for your survey, if you want to go to the village and do something for the community, the informality is very important. You'll see our dress up. It's not something very formal. It's me discussing with a student, one of my, she's a teacher from Brack University, and you see the surrounding. This was the place where we hired a cook from the village who cooked 3 days for us, and the main shopping, the vegetables, the fish was bought by the students. This was also important for some students who didn't bought for many people, thinking what to choose, what to buy, what is available, what is the market time. So this is really interesting to understand the place also. So this informality is important. Some prefer to even write poems since the surroundings or the situation, because these are the information or the image of the Munshiganj. It's a very close to the mighty river Podda. It's called Podda River, beside the Podda River, and the whole area is lowland. So this lowland is actually very much prone to flood, river erosion. That's why people develop this house type that can be portable, that is above the ground. And so this is very interesting. And be active. Be active means it's me. So I also do participate in the sketch. I do start doing things. I participate in their poster making. So you have to be active too. It's not like you are sitting, you are guiding only. So this is important for working with the community. It's not like some person came and suggested something. He actually worked with them too. This is good. Okay, the next part, what is the, okay, we have done so many works, so many things. We need to share with many people in different platforms to make it visible. To make it visible does not mean to search for attraction, but also search for collaboration, search for partnership. So a student, one of my students wrote a experience article in newspaper. One of the radio in Dhaka, they focused or they aired our initiative. Recently, just in October 10 in 2020, students shared their experience of this workshop with KIIT School of Rural Management India and Smart Village Living Lab KIIT. So this was also a very good moment for them. They can share their works with many other people, many other institutions beyond boundaries. So this is the model making, the reflection of their learning. Okay. So how the digital documentation? Because am I taking much time? Please tell me, like, how much time do I have?
It's okay. Sheikh, you can. My
Okay.
problem is you haven't taken your lunch yet.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I will end nearly in 20 minutes, or 15 to 20 minutes more. Okay, so after the workshop is done in the village, then comes the report phase, which is like the digital documentation of each of the topics, each of the information we gathered. So it's documented, and during the documentation also we try to give that, okay, it's not, because I have seen this, because when students come out to their studio, somehow their drawings becomes very urban, very not rural. So using rural component, rural trees, the rustic nature, this is very important. So this is another phase, how to communicate the information of village through drawing. This is a very good documentation of my students. I'm really proud of it because they documented very colorfully, very well, with a sketch, with drawings, the whole scenario of the village. It's the second workshop outcome, which is also has become a research topic for me and for many persons. It's about their geography, it's about their agriculture, seasonal change, their festivity or the cultural practice. This is about the agriculture only on the homestead. It's called courtyard agriculture. So, what do they cultivate in the homestead? How they get benefited from that? This is their marketplace, how the market is working, um, and these are the house module measurements, sections, plans, and these are the market survey, what market offers. So these are very good thing which students have documented, and the quality of this report is to me is very good because I think it's because of this workshop module that they looked so closely about the things and they felt that this has to be communicated proper way. And based on that report, we picked some area of intervention, like what needs to be done. So in Maniganj, the agricultural center we stayed, they had a plan to extend further. So students worked on that particular project, and we shared with them too. I will show you. This was another project that if we want to invite tourists or tourism in village, what can be the module, whether the homestead or the people will allow outsider in their village. If they allow, how they need to be accommodated. So these are the solutions for that. And for Munshiganj, one of my student proposed for a tourism because it's a very lowland area. So he tried to create a dialogue between land and water, and the resort facility may boost their area because due to the lowland issue, much development is not done in there. So tourism as a development criteria for that area. And he actually won two awards for this proposal, one in my own institution's innovation award project category, and another is to upscale or upcycle this technique into the modern housing. It got another online competition award. This is the exhibition at the village. This is quite a new experience for me too, because we didn't think about it previously that we will share our works to the people, and to share the work for the people, the first barrier is how do we communicate. So I mentioned one thing that the language, yes, all the sheet is written in local language, which is Bengali, but still we have showed this is very fresh paper, very white, neat and clean paper. So it had some kind of gap. They couldn't express much. But again, I didn't document that, but we showed a video of this marketplace development video, which is proposed by another student. And showing the video, they actually were very much in, they reacted very much like, okay, this is the area, that is the area. So it's kind of very good communication. So from the next time, we will more focus on sharing in a movie format, maybe to the village, if we want to communicate with them what we have done. So, and also the present exhibition is not very much, as I saw, it's not very much designed. It's under the banyan tree by using the rope, just exhibiting it like a cloth. And again, in the village place, it's a closed shop. We used their facade to show. And this feedback is very important. Those who want to work with the community, whether you are doing wrong thing, whether you are doing the right thing, you need to get their feedback too. So I'm currently working with the sustainability issues of this housing type compared with masonry house with an Indian professor right now. And the left one is the research work of how a village can be developed. This poster was awarded best poster in a conference, a smart village conference, and my colleague Saad was also there. So this is the kind of collaboration or future scope of work that we are doing. And okay, I will end very soon. My inspiration is Khandakar Hasibul Kabir. He works from maybe 2007 with the community, with poor people, and he's a landscape architect and sustainability advocate. I will strongly recommend all of you, those who want to work with the community, please see his work. He even now lives in village. He doesn't live in city anymore. He want to build community, and this house, he is trying to build house with a very low cost, integrating the community. So this is very good work. So I get always inspired by his work. So, okay, at last, it's a collaborative participatory research program for a better tomorrow, and it is to be continued. Thank you. I will expect questions or feedback from you.
Thank you, Architect Sheikh, for sharing us your Grammo project community base. So now may we start on asking questions for the speakers. And after that, we're going to have to present our certificate of appreciation to be led by Dean Jocelyn Rivera Lupa. Thank you.
So here's our first question from Architect Dorotan. How can we do community engagement amidst the lockdown? Will community participation suffer because of the still rising cases of COVID-19?
How can in the community? Yes, at first there is a specific health restrictions that self distance issue, also the hygiene issue. So this time the Grammo workshop conducted in August, just the last 1 month earlier. It was conducted with very few members, and the house we lived in, it can accommodate 12 people, maintaining the safe distance, but we allowed only 5 this time. And about the yes, about the community involvement issue in the lockdown case, it's actually the academy is facing much problem, like should we go, should we make our students go. So this is again a topic that uh, about the need, like whether you need to survey. So what is the reason? Like I had some information needed to go for survey. Again, the 4 other participants who went there, they are actually preparing for their thesis background work, and they are feeling that without going in there, they cannot get the knowledge, the information. So the maintaining the mask and other hand sanitizing issue. And also very interestingly, maybe it's true for our region, that the village people is not at all bothered, but if you have seen that they are not using masks. So we actually, the people we are going, we had to be sincere from our side that okay, whether we are preparing ourselves good. And it's actually self motivation that the students and myself wanted to go. uh, mm, it is all I can say. And also another thing, it may look like a bit confusing, but we are conducting our academic work. So when we are conducting our academic work, we need to do many things which was not done before, because the situation demands that. My students may not go to the survey, but I can go for them to show them a real picture, a real scenario of a place. This happened in my studio also. Some of their students take help from their brother or from their friend who is living in that area, that to take a snap or take a video for me and send it back to me. In that kind of way, even I also sometimes in this pandemic situation go to some construction site, take some video and share with my students. It's done by me, because other than that, if I conduct the course, because it's a university also protocol that I have to conduct the course in online. So to engage more my students, I need to go to the site. They may not go, or those who feel they need to go to the site, because other than that they cannot do the activity, because with the new normal thing we need to adapt. So that is my viewpoint. You may differ, of course, but that's my viewpoint.
Thank you, Architect Sheikh, for that response, because actually we are also facing the same dilemma. For example, here in PUP, we just started our classes 2 weeks ago, so we are now at our week 2. But however, because of the lockdown protocols, I think people that are under the age of 21 are not allowed to go out here. And then there's a curfew. That's why for the third year design plate, for plate number 1, we're saying that we cannot encourage them to go out yet of the community. And so we are encouraging them to look at at a design challenge that is within 15 minutes walking or biking distance of their house, because that is the challenge we are facing. And also in here in the city, the cases of COVID is still rising. So I don't know, students, you can't go out, right? That's as far as I'm concerned. Students can't go out.
Okay. Things are in some way different in here. In here means our university started online classes from before the lockdown. Like we are thinking that this is coming, so our authority gave us training before the classes ended, and all the universities closed down from 17 March, but we went for online in March 10th. So this was the case, and from then we are following the regular academic program without any interruption. So we have faced more things like this, like students are not engaged or not. This kind of phenomena happened in here too. But from around, if I'm not wrong, from July or August, the lockdown is kind of went out, and but the government is more focusing the maintaining safe distance, social distance, the health measures. But all the activity is performing well, other than the education sector. So you will see floods of people in the road without the student maybe. So this is kind of weird thing, because in every house, the women, the old people, they need to go outside for marketing, for shopping, for various reasons. But when it's actually for the student, when I'm asking for a student to go for service, since there is no strict rules from the government side, they are telling we don't go generally. But we are connected through social media and very much app. We see where they are going or not. They're regularly going to meet their friends outside, because the lockdown this session is so much enlarged that people cannot live in their house. But yes, with limited means in fourth year I'm taking this time, since they cannot go for survey. But since they cannot go for survey, if I tell this is one thing. And again, I'm asking to the students this time, like whether you can go for the survey, but just 1 hour, maybe weekly 1 hour or 1.5 hour. So this was kind of a discussion, and students figured out without survey, they will face most of the problem. And the 4 groups we selected for the group project, one person from each group went to the site, and he documented and we gave project in their hometown. So they cannot, they are in hometown, they are documenting their hometown, they are planning for their hometown, and they are sharing with their group mate, okay, my hometown is like that, and this is this. And then the studio teacher, we figured out another person who has the same hometown, but not in their group, maybe he's senior or junior, to take his view also, because I don't not know about their view hometown. So it's very difficult for me to evaluate their work or their situation. So it's also another level that students, maybe suppose you are doing project in Philippines. So I have asked another person who lives in Philippines, maybe Mark here, to tell me about what is Philippines like. So you are sharing with me, he is sharing with me, and this gets more or less better. And in some cases, students didn't go for the site due to family reason, because mostly female students, parents don't want to let their girls go out. So what we did is actually we asked that, because that student is going to pass, so he or she should have learned something. He or she needs some change in their mindset, that this is the thing we may need to adapt. So we asked that girl that, okay, you manage one of your friends who go out, or you manage with one of your senior who go out, and who will take the video for you. And because other than that, the learning will be hampered. It's again my point of view. And in this way, we are conducting the sessions that is really different, because the situation is different. So we need to do things differently. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Rezwan. Okay, I turn it now again to our MCs, Mark and Maki. Please solicit questions from the audience.
Yes, ma'am. We have a question here. It's from John Ernest Davis, and it says, what is the biggest obstacle when doing a collaboration from a person from a different culture?
Okay. The main challenge is for me to understand their language. Language means not the verbal language. Language is the way they perceive a thing. Like in Munshiganj, this specific type of house, they call it ghar. Ghar means house, but in Bengali we have similar term like ghar and basha. For urban or people like city, we think ghar and basha is same. But in Munshiganj, basha means permanent masonry building, and ghar means this wooden building. So this, to know this thing, it's very important how they perceive a ghar and a basha, how they differ it. So this kind of many things come up, like how they perceive open space, as we call it. Open space, what is open space to them from a people in the village? What is bazaar or marketplace means to them? So this is I'm calling the the language. This how they perceive a specific thing in their own way. Let me share one example. Like when we started to survey the house market, one of my student, she is planning to change the design of this house. So what she is proposing, each time the owner of the house is telling, no, 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 this will not work. No, you cannot change it. This will not work. So as an architect, we are feeling like, okay, why? Why? Because when we are asking like why this will not work, he cannot give answer. Maybe this is his preconceived idea, or maybe he cannot explain well. So now we decided, me and my student decided that we will make some small miniature model of different approach and share with them. Like you can remove some part, you can break it, or you can play with the stick by your own hand, like and then he may get engaged with the process, like this does not work because this is this, because I cannot reach his uh, very basic idea about the house. That's why he is continuously telling it's not going to work. But why? I need the answer. So like we're thinking about the model making. It's one way that he may get interested. He may will break some part or remove some part and tell that this cost more, this will not stay in the wind or something, which he may not verbally explain to me. Thank you.
Here's another question from Jersey Despuig. Do you have a plan in the future to design for a Filipino community?
I like this was not my if given the scope. Yes. given the scope, I would love to, because right now some organization wants to fund my activity to design build workshop, but primarily I'm thinking that design build workshop that since this house only takes 3 or 4 days to uh, accumulate or assimilate the parts, so 3-4 day workshop for making a house will be a good module, but I need funding that the house will be built. But I'm primarily thinking it in the village I'm currently working with, so that I can get more viewpoint from the user. Then after making something, they will definitely come out that, okay, what you have done, or okay, I really like it, or I don't like it. So primarily I'm thinking in that area. But if I don't know who will give the scope to me to work in the Philippines.
Maybe we can just learn from Sheikh and make his work a model that we can Philippinize, so to speak.
Yes, if you do that, it will be a good thing for me, because I will learn then from you, like what did you face.
Thank you. But we learn a lot from you. I know all our students are as you have inspired a lot of students to learn to listen. Basically, it's listening to other people that we would want them to develop. I know we have a tendency to be dictators, architects. Has a tendency to be dictators, but what you have introduced to us is really learning from others, listening, so that we can process things, and the awareness level should be heightened, so that we can really design for the people. Okay. Maybe we can let go of architect Rezwan, because it's 1 o'clock in Bangladesh, and he has not taken. I don't think he has taken his lunch yet. So if we can give him a virtual round of applause to show our gratitude, or a heart, or
And ma'am, we can proceed to the awarding of certification if
yes,
you
please.
want.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you,
ma'am.
Rezwan. Oh, thank you, Sheikh.
Let us proceed to the awarding of certificate of operation to be led by Architect Lutap.
Okay.
Ma'am, kayo na po.
Easy, because one of our program is also on its way for accreditation, and we only have 2 regular faculty in the program, and the work is really tremendous. I don't know, do you have accreditation of your program in Bangladesh?
Yes,
Like there's a third party?
We have. It's done by the Institute of Architects Bangladesh.
Okay.
They are mandated by the government, and we have applied for the accreditation in just last February, and due to lockdown it stands still now, but I hope we wanted them to keep things rolling, but I don't know what they are doing.
I think this is the first time for the university to have an accreditation online, so it's really challenging.
Yeah.
The CHED, which is the Commission on Higher Education, was supposed to visit us March 16, but we got locked down before that. So there are still a lot of pending programs. Okay, I will, if I may be allowed to share my screen and read the citation. Republic of the Philippines, Polytechnic University of the Philippines, College of Architecture, Design, and the Built Environment, Department of Architecture, Santa Mesa, Manila. This certificate of appreciation is hereby awarded to Architect Sheikh Md. Rezwan for his invaluable contribution as a resource speaker with the topic Grammo Project Community Base. In the webinar series conducted by the Design 5 cluster of the Department of Architecture, which contributed to the enhancement of skills and knowledge of students in architecture and community design, and enlightened their chosen career path. Given this 14th day of October 2020 at 4 p.m. Philippine time, to be signed by Architect Md Garcia, Chairperson of the Department of Architecture, and yours truly, Jocelyn Lutap. We will be emailing it to you, but when we see each other, either somewhere in India again, or maybe we can visit Bangladesh, or you can visit the Philippines, then we will be able to give the certificate to you personally.
Okay, I really appreciate your effort also, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheikh.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
So okay, it's like goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are there
See you.
anything
See you
you
soon.
want to say? Yes.
I have shared a Facebook page of the Grammo in the chat, so you can just check and like. So stay
Yeah.
connected
Architect
with us.
Sheik, before you go, can we have a group photo? I'm gonna ask the students to
Open the.
open their cameras, and I'll do a quick
Okay.
screenshot.
Thank
So if you
you.
don't
Thank
mind, if
you
you
again.
delay your lunch, just a minute more. Okay, so students, now is the time. Please open your cameras, and then I will be, there's around, I think, 90 of us, and then there are also those viewing in the Facebook Live, no? So it's several pages since I'm using my phone. So, okay,
Okay.
okay, hold on. How does this work?
Sheik, one of our problem is that they're saying, because some of the students would have data, so
Yes, I
the Zoom,
completely understand.
yeah, the Zoom consumes so much,
Yeah.
so it's like better for them to watch
Oh my
us on
God,
Facebook.
dami nito.
So,
Hold on, please open your cameras. Ang dami natin. Okay. Okay. Okay, taking another page. Okay, I think that's the last page. So,
we'll get in touch with you, Sheik. So maybe we can do another collaborative work, or if you want any of the members of our team to do also lecture, I would volunteer them. AK, Rayana, and Melba, they would be more than willing, I'm sure. Right, AK?
sure.
Yes, to
Yeah.
share with
Yes,
your
yes.
students.
Let's.
Let's do more of this. Let's fight COVID by being in the internet and preparing ourselves, so when we're ready to go out, we are all well equipped.
Yes. Sure. I will share a mail with you for some collaboration, whether it can be lecture or in research format.
Yes, yes.
I surely love to
Or
do
it
that.
can be research. I was asking Shik if we can do something like assess the DACA in relation to how we would assess Manila, since this cities are done by foreigners, so to speak. They were designed by foreigners.
Mm.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you, Shik. Thank you.
so
Looking for more collaboration.
Yeah, I still have
Thank
your
you.
thank you,
notebook.
Shri.
It's still with me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye all.